What's going on, you guys? Welcome to another episode review for Vinland Saga Season 2. This is episode 3, and with me, as always, I have Bluespit.
Yeah, so we do pick up we pick up with another character we saw in the last episode. His name is Olmar, who's the son of Kettle, who owns pretty much the entirety of the land in which he owns the slaves to help work in his farm. We immediately see that he's Olmar's a bit of a man-child, just going off on tangents about how he's supposedly views himself as inferior to everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he's like 17, but yeah, he's basically just lamenting the fact that he's not strong, and he wants to be able to be seen as strong and capable, I suppose. And he's kind of like drunkenly ranting about this to his other two friends, who happen to be, I think, some of the bodyguards on the farm.
Yes.
And
yeah, so they're apparently they're hired mercenaries that Kettle employs in order to protect the farm. But these two in particular, they're suggesting that Olmar kill someone in order to, I guess, I don't know, gain some confidence of sorts, which I don't think that's really the case. I think they're just coercing him just to, have fun with him, I guess. So they're suggesting that he kills at least two of the slaves that his dad recently acquired, which is of course Einar and Thorfinn. So we pick up with them, and of course, Einar's, of course, getting ready to, to work, while Thorfinn, all of a sudden, he's, I guess, he's still dealing with nightmares of sorts.
Yeah, because he's just he starts thrashing around and screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, clearly he's having some kind of a nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, even when Einar tries to, what was he? He tries to ask what the reason for that is. It's just but of course Thorfinn just doesn't really answer him. And so we do pick up with that woman we saw in the last episode. I don't think they really said her name. Did she? Or
I don't Einar introduces himself to her, but I don't remember if she actually said what her name was. But yeah, she actually tells him that he's not, because he thought that she was the daughter of Kettle, but it turns out that she's not. She's just his personal attendant.
Yeah, and she's also a slave too. So there's that, and of course, both Einar and Thorfinn are picked up by the same two guys, supposedly the friends of Olmar, and they ask him to to come with them, and they take him over to this what was it, I guess you could say it's a barn in on the cliffside of the shore or something.
Yeah, they have a house they built over there, I guess, for the I guess maybe for the other mercenaries where they hang out. Also, I know one of those mercenaries there, his name was Fox. I forget what the other one's name was.
Yeah, and so they, once they get there, Einar and Thorfinn are pretty much put into the situation where they'll likely be killed by Olmar. I guess for I don't know how to say this. It's pretty much a sick attempt at boosting his confidence, but of course. Olmar immediately doesn't see it that way when he gets put into this position, and of course he's initially hesitant because he knows that both Einar and Thorfinn are both work for his father, and of course there will likely be consequences if his dad found out that if he ended up killing two of his recently acquired slaves.
Yeah. But yeah, of course, Einar is not really okay with what's about to happen. So he takes the opportunity while Omar is hesitating to kind of pin him down. And Einar is obviously a lot stronger than Omar, because Omar can't really, he ends up successfully like restraining him, and he's not really able, Omar's not really able to get back up, and Einar tells Thorfinn to try to get away while he restrains Omar, but Thorfinn, of course, doesn't really try to run. There are two other mercenaries that just kind of hold blades to his throat, so he doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
But Thorfinn eventually offers himself as like kind of a sacrifice to be killed, because he more or less says like he doesn't want to live anymore, or he says, what's the point of living? Omar hears, or not Omar, but Fox hears this, and Omar gets away, but Fox hears this and he finds it intriguing, I suppose, because he starts kind of trying to intimidate Thorfinn, I guess, because he asks him, do you know what our business is? Like, we deal in death. And he kind of like, it's trying to, I guess, this whole time trying to get a reaction out of Thorfinn. But Thorfinn doesn't react no matter what Fox does to him, which Fox ends up just, well, first of all, he cuts him like on his chest, which seems like a fairly shallow cut, but then he just continually like cuts everywhere on his body. Just so, hoping, I guess, to get, for Thorfinn to do something, to, just to react in pain or even blink, but he never really even flinches, no matter how many times he cuts him. And then we also, like, while this is happening, we cut to
it also gets to the point where Fox slices off a portion of his left ear too.
Yeah, well, that was, of course, he cuts off part of his ear. But we also cut to this character called Snake, who's just, I guess, overslept, because he was expecting this old man, I guess, that he lives with, to cook him breakfast. But the old man says, like, if you don't help me on the farm, or help me out on the farm, I'm not going to cook you anything. Which, and then just tells him to make his own breakfast, which I guess Snake isn't used to, because he says he's just a pain to cook, try to cook it himself. So then he goes to, he eventually goes off to where the other mercenaries are hanging out, and, oversees what's going on with Omar just cutting up Thorfinn. And yeah, at that point, he cuts off part of his ear. And Snake pretty much tells him to stop, or tries to stop him.
Yeah, and of course, everyone just like stops in their tracks, because Snake is of course the leader of these mercenaries of the group. Yeah. So he's not really happy of what transpired, and of course what Fox is doing with Thorfinn, because he knows, like, they're all hired by Kettle, and of course, him realizing that they're like literally abusing one of Kettle's slaves. It's not going to sit well with if Kettle confronts all these mercenaries.
Yeah, I feel like this episode really emphasizes just how much Thorfinn has given up on life, because he pretty much volunteers to die, and he it's just a lot of the stuff he says, like, it just really just tells you that Thorfinn is completely, like, he's just a complete husk of a person. He doesn't really, he's pretty much just going day by day. Like, he sees no purpose in his life, and he doesn't care if he ends up dying.
Yeah, and of course, we do see Snake walking up to Fox, pretty much, but
oh yeah, he just he punches up really hard in the face. Like, he breaks quite a few of his teeth.
I mean, of course, he deserved that because of of all the trouble that he's putting these two through. But
yeah,
I mean, based on well, of course that's where the episode ends. But based on the previews of the next episode, it seems to me that Snake is gonna play a factor in trying to get Thorfinn back on his feet of sorts.
Yeah, because it looks like there's going to be some kind of a fight between the two of them.
Yeah, because I mean, Thorfinn like could have like defended himself at any time when Fox was slashing him, but of course he just decides not to. I'm curious, like, what's going to end up changing with Snake being there.
Yeah, I am curious if Thorfinn's going to ever really change his outlook on things, and what might be the cause of that. Obviously, Einar is going to have something to say to him after all this, because especially based on the episode reviews, it looks like there's going to be some kind of I guess, a conversation between the two of them.
Yeah. I mean, overall, it was a decent episode. I mean, it's still, of course, it's still continuing on with a slow pace, but I think it's definitely gradually building up with, with, I guess, in a way, trying to get Thorfinn, to snap out of his, his slump at the end of the last season.
Yeah, I think obviously it's going to take a while too for him to finally, get out of this slump he's in, because, especially considering everything that happened with him. And also considering what he said in this episode, like nothing good has ever happened in his life. Which it's kind of true. I mean, I would say like after his father died, that's kind of the case. But yeah, I feel like, yeah, he needs to like, I don't know. I am, like I said, I've read the manga. I know what happens, but, I just, I know it's going to take a while for him to kind of get over where he's at right now. I feel like something might have to force him out of it. And maybe Einar might play a role in that. But yeah, I thought it was a good episode. Like you said, it's still fairly slow paced, and it's kind of expected for what's currently going on. I am interested, like, I forget when it happens, but I am interested to see, for us to get to see what's going on with some of the other characters as well, like Canute and Thorkel, and what they're up to. But it seems like right now, at least in the beginning of the season, they're kind of just, the focus is mostly on Thorfinn. But yeah, I thought it was a really good episode. I really have no complaints with how it's being adapted so far. So I can't wait for the next one, and I don't really have too much else to say about it. I don't know if you have anything else to say.
Like you said, it was a pretty decent episode. Definitely, I guess in a way, this is going to be the start of, I guess, in redeveloping Thorfinn into just getting away from his depressive state of sorts.
Yeah, and just kind of, becoming sort of a different person than what he was in the beginning of the series, how he was just kind of just completely obsessed with trying to get revenge and trying to kill Askeladd, and that was kind of like his entire character for pretty much the majority of season 1. Is he was just he was really violent. He didn't matter who got in his way. He was just trying to, he did whatever it took. He would get his revenge on Askeladd. And now that that's been taken from him, it's like, I'm kind of wondering, I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, like, what, if he's ever going to, maybe become a different person, or if he's going to, how he's going to, I mean, what is he going to live for now that he doesn't have his, his revenge to live for. So yeah, but that all being said, guys, until next week, we will see you all next time.